This past summer, a Manitoban traveling to the United States was denied entry at the Pembina, North Dakota crossing. He was told by border officers he didn't have the proper documentation. This after being held for 4 hours and questioned about Canadian criminal charges that were stayed 6 years ago. His lawyer, Michael Dick, thought it was unusual the U.S. didn't let his client in.
In my experience, that's not something that I've ever come across before.
And then something similar just happened to another one of Dick's clients who had a conditional discharge for a breach of probation. The person was prevented from flying to the U.S. through Toronto.
Essentially, his trip was ruined. He wasn't able to get through, and that was the end of that.
Global Affairs Canada cautions every country or territory decides who can enter and leave its borders. In the case of the U.S., Global Affairs says ports of entry are computerized and connected to a centralized database that show criminal convictions in both countries. While a conviction may mean you can't cross, the Criminal Defense Lawyers Association of Manitoba says denying entry to people who've been charged but not convicted seems to be a shift.
It seems now, based on this story, that maybe the ambit of what it is they're concerned with is expanded somewhat.
CBC was told there has been no change in policy. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says applicants for admission bear the burden of proof to establish they are clearly eligible to enter the United States. We're not naming the man who had his theft charges stayed because he has concerns about fear of reprisal when trying to travel to the U.S. He tells us they were related to a dispute with a previous employer. He got documentation from court to prove the matter was dealt with, and there was no conviction.
He was able to get the paperwork and then go back, and it seemed like an unnecessary hassle for a person who doesn't have a criminal conviction or doesn't have a criminal record.
He's now been allowed into the U.S. twice, but his story highlights how travelers should be prepared to prove their criminal charges have been disposed of before trying to go south. Josh Crabb, CBC News, Winnipeg.